Need you to let me know that you never let me go. Is this true?
Yeah, Saha, I'm a loner. I'm borderline in Mexico, my mind's in Arizona. Yeah, I'm the symbol of a prince, and you find as Apollonia. I'm a doctor, a bachelor, a master, my fourth diploma. The cash from off the corner. Moon rock aroma, Baccarat Kelowna. Every time I set the bar, I'm knocking down Coronas. Sativa from Seattle, I was an organ donor. She wanna marry, but I dance around the ring like I'm Loma. She mad that I don't wanna. Shawty wanna leave, I said the sooner the better. Make a stop in Oklahoma. Here's a pickup line, I don't own a Tacoma. Who ain't ever heard of Williams Sonoma? But I smoked a blunt with her, so why would I stone her? She talking in my ear, I'm like, I don't belong here. Cause I see through them lies like lingerie. You ain't gotta enunciate, I know what you wanna say. She said,
I just wanna run this place so that I can run away with you. With you, with you, with you. I need you to let me know that you never let me go. Is this true? Oh, baby.
I met a dancer out in Aspen, we was cold chillin'. She had dreams to be an actress, but the role switched. So now she's on the pole stripping just to get attention. From old to a probably throw their whole pension. She running game, but she really run away. But I ain't show up with no cape, so I can't say today. It's kinda sad how Mona Lisa turned to Lisa Ray. Let me explain, she insecure, no Issa Rae. Running plays, defeat the fam like it's Hunger Games. Rolling grams at my mother's pad in my younger days. I was not afraid to hit the block and get my pockets paid. Bumping Big Papa, who shot you, put that shit on Callaway.
Flight 019er, 2 miles northeast to establish an approach.
Let's run away from your curse, you know, then be worse. A difficult relationship game, let's see who cheat first. She think the order to pay me is to reimburse. She drink me like a Sprite then, still can't abate her thirst. Her heart was cold like mid of February and plus the attitude was unnecessary, that sucks. She claimed to hold it down to be the good one, of course. But once you raise the volume up too hot, no, we can't adjust. A lot of things to build and to demonstrate. Ain't no hesitation when it come to place. But if you run away with me, you can't play no games with me. Keep it natural, cause I ain't into Kim K's. She tried to tell me that isn't the truth. If you don't believe the truth, why should I believe in you? I know you think I wouldn't let you through, but feelings wasn't this mutual. I'ma get
Happy Monday. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you too. Hello, Lily, with that beautiful sunny face. This is what Monday should look like. We should be happy to be alive and
Yes.
breathing, okay?
It's beautiful.
Woo!
It's a beautiful
If you
Monday here.
It is. It's like if you dread Monday, you really got to sit with yourself and ask, why do I hate Monday? I'm not doing something right. You should love every single day of the week, long as you have air in your lungs, right? So welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. Hi, everybody. Hi. How you doing? If it's your first time here, hit that like and subscribe. You're going to like it here. It's going to hurt sometimes, but you're going to like it here overall, okay? I am Jen, up on the block with Jen, YouTube's bad girl and your favorite devil's advocate. My co-host 5 nights a week is...
Lily Washington of YB Limited. That's the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited. That is on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Don't go looking for me on Twitter. That's the ghetto, and I don't go there. Okay?
I'm not on Twitter either. I can't do it. I tried. I just never, I'm barely on TikTok. So I'm like, Twitter is definitely not, it's not my thing, but it's okay. I mean, we're on enough platforms where you can find us if you really care. Let's take care of a few bills and some business. If you want to support the platform because you love what we got to say and how we say it, Cash App on the block with Jen. It is scrolling on the bottom. It is also discreet. A lot of people don't like other people seeing where their money goes. Throw it in the Cash App. It's between you and I. Unless you want to say with your chest that you are sponsoring On the Block with Jen, and I'll be more than happy to let people know that. Just send your Cash App gift with a note like, yeah, Jen, let them know I'm sponsoring your show. I will do that. Speaking of sponsorship, On the Block with Jen at Gmail, if you want to reach me for any business. That includes if you want me to play your music during the intro, if you want to come up on the panel and promote yourself. We do that here, but On the Block with Jen at Gmail for business. Okay, business. Also, you can support the show with a super chat, bottom right $ of the chat. And if it's your first time here, hi, where you been? I'm glad that you're here. If you're one of our regulars at the On the Block with Jen bar, what's up, baby? Did you miss us? Did you miss us? Um, Lily, let the people know. I mean, Block Talent Battle is getting better and better and better. Let the people know what they're missing on Saturdays,
Mm.
8 p.m. Eastern on the Block with Jen.
Yes, that's the Block Talent Battle. If you haven't been watching it, I would say it's okay, but it's not okay because your late tide delayed it through. Okay. But you can also catch up though, because every Saturday, 8 p.m. is the Block Talent Battle. That's what we have. Various talents of all talents that is not going to get us banned from YouTube that comes out and compete for $100 cash prize. Now the audience is going to be the one that's going to vote for the winner. So don't come trying to bribe us. I mean, you can try. Let's see how far you can get. Okay. I'll give you my cash app. But yeah, but don't come trying to bribe us because that's not going to work. It's going to be the audience that is going to vote for you. So we're really excited to tell you who won for the last one, but we won't be able to tell you until Saturday. That's when we will announce last week's winner, and then we will also allow new people to come out to perform. So if you're one of those people who has talent, people have been telling you you're talented by any means, come on out. You have 2 minutes to showcase yourself. And then after that, it's a wrap because we're cutting you.
Right.
Not
And
not
just,
not with the knife. We're
right,
not do
no.
that.
Not Jen style. Just,
No.
time, your
Not on
time. You get two
Saturdays.
minutes. Not on Saturdays. You get 2 minutes to perform. And also, Lily, we've had what, four winners already who've won $100 cash. We've
Yes.
had four
Yes.
winners. So next Saturday we'll announce the fifth winner, and it's real money straight to your Cash App the day of. If you get the most votes, it is your money to keep. You don't have to share anything with us. I mean, you could buy us around if you ever see us in person, but it is
Hmm.
your money to do with what you want. And there's not any other show on YouTube awarding $100 to anybody for 2 minutes of their time. Nobody in the YouTube streets is giving a contestant $100, 2 minutes of their time. You saw it here first, okay? We care about your talent and we care about you sharing your talent with us, okay? The Block is the real deal all the way around, not just 5 nights a week when we come bringing you hot topics, trending topics, you know what I mean? Celebrity BS or just things that affect our community or our relationships. But on Saturdays, the real deal, we give everyone $100 cash, whoever wins by vote, okay? And it's fair. Lily and I judge,
Yes.
but we don't pick winners here. You guys do that, okay? So thank you for being here, guys. We're gonna have a jam-packed week per usual of trending topics and other topics that, you know what I mean, affect our relations, our
Yeah.
romantic situations and things like that. And I had this in particular on my mind because you guys know I talk a lot about the pendulum swinging all the way to the other side, a little bit ridiculously to the point where it breaks off. So tonight I wanted to
Mm.
discuss, have we been conditioned to be attracted to certain types, and now are we being conditioned the opposite way? Before we get into that, let's touch on some trending topics that are absolutely ridiculous, but we have to address it, Lily.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Ja Morant.
Oh, okay. We back in ghetto news. Okay. All right. I ain't above it. All right. I'm not above it. It's a lot going on.
Ja Morant. Before you say anything, Lily, he's 23 years old. I don't know what that means, but just letting the people know he's 23 years old. What do you think? Ja
Mm.
Morant.
Wow. Okay. So I've been cruising through the internet streets and just seeing what the people are talking about, and as well as just putting it up against how I look at it. Um, because I'm always asking myself, am I being too judgmental?
Mhm.
I'm trying to look at all of the facts, but this is what's bothering me. See, the thing is, when people are coming from a space of being born and raised in the hood and things like that, we can understand product of environment. This is conditioning, like we were talking about. We can get that. That's
Absolutely.
much easier to get. Like, um, for instance, when Cardi B came out, they plucked her straight out the projects,
Yeah.
straight off the pole,
From
right?
from my neighborhood in the Bronx. So,
Exactly.
same
And
neighborhood.
threw her on the stage, right?
Hmm.
And then Cardi B did what she's always done. She's handled situations like she's always done. She came to the Met Gala to punch Nicki Minaj out, right? Things like
Correct.
that. So,
Hmm.
not trying to give an excuse, but I understand it. With him, I have always, when I
Hmm.
say always, had an issue
Hmm.
with people who are born and raised in decent neighborhoods and apparently like decent families and middle class, upper middle class backgrounds, and they go to the hood, um lower hood persona and things like that. So then I ask myself, well, what is the lore? What is it? Is it culture, like pop culture? Is our culture synonymous with hood ghetto culture? Like, I need this. These are conversations that need to be had because this he's not the first person we've seen do this.
Hmm.
When I was going to school in high school, I went to a school that was very mixed. So you had
Hmm.
people from, I mean, like every background, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I noticed it there, like the
Hmm.
ones who came from the upper middle class, huge single family homes. They wanted to be like the people who weren't. They wanted to fit in with them.
Hmm.
Um, so and then they will still, start selling drugs and stuff like that. And I'm like, but you don't have to do that. I understand why a homie over here has to do it because his mom's his mom's smoking crack and she done spent all the food stamps. Like she done sold the food
Right.
stamps the first day she got them. So I get it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't think I'm looking at it unfairly. He's gotta be the dumbest
Hmm.
person in basketball right now. Like, I don't get it. Do we not have PR anymore? What's going on? There's a lot
Hmm.
of questions I have. I
Hmm.
guess I have more questions than anything.
Okay, so we will pause right there and pass the mic to Nosing because he is our sports fanatic.
Oh shoot.
You
You
got to
came at
be
the right
ready on
time.
the block, baby. You never know. Bang, bang. You have to be ready.
Yes, yes. I
Wait. We Nosing, we ain't missing that haircut. We see it.
Right.
We see
Coming
it.
here.
We see it, Nosing. We see the shape up. All right. We see you giving
Hmm.
us marine. That's what I'm talking about.
I think he's trying to look good for New Diamond.
Ooh, okay.
That's right. That's right. And chocolate
Yep.
earth.
And
And
chocolate earth.
chocolate
Yep.
earth.
Uh-huh. I know you. I know you for your works.
Right. So
Uh-huh.
you guys know, at the risk of being redundant, you guys know how I feel about the posers, the hood posers. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to pass the mic to No Saint. No Saint, you know a lot more about sports than we do. How are you looking at this John Morant
Well, I'm
situation?
going to be honest with you. I read that he got in trouble. I don't know what he did.
No
You get
Saint.
that clickbait, and it's like I'm like, I just
Hmm.
read Rip, and I was busy doing other things, so I'm not sure what he did. I know he's been in trouble a lot this season.
Yeah.
I know he's like the top player on that franchise
Hmm.
in Memphis. But I don't know his background. It seems like Lily, you were telling me he came from a decent like middle class background.
That's what I was reading, but Dennis is let me have it down to the comments. So I mean, I can be corrected, but that's because
Well,
I've been very clear
So,
that
but
I'm.
really quickly, here's the thing. Chat, hold me down. I forgot to tell you that. You guys help the block be the block. So if you guys have more information, feel free to not only give it to us, but cite your sources. I do agree with Lily. I've heard all over the place from other men that he did not grow up in the streets. He is not a street boy. He is not a street child. Now, what his father was, I do not know. But as far as we know, John Morant didn't grow up in the streets. toting guns, running around, shooting at people. That's what I've seen over and over and over again. And I trust men to tell me about sports because I am not a sports fanatic. So if you know more than us, feel free to let us know. Going back to you, No Saint, what happened, how he got in trouble was the same way he got in trouble before. He was in the car with his friend. His friend was live on social media, like all these young people are. Everything is content to them. And Ja Morant pulled out his gun yet again and was waving it around and playing a rapper in the passenger seat. And then his friend put the phone down like, oh shit. However, the video was uploaded. So the jury is still out. A lot of people are attacking the friend, saying that ain't your friend, blah, blah, blah. And every time Ja Morant does something, people divert to his environment, right? Trying to absolve him from gun toting and waving a gun around. So that's what he got in trouble for. Same thing he got in trouble for before. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an environment he grew in. He's 23 years old.
Correct.
He's hanging around, most likely, I'm assuming he's hanging around friends that he grew up with. He might not. He might be hanging around with other people, but people his age.
Yeah.
And those people his age aren't thinking of the responsibility they have towards his career. They're thinking this is cool, this is content. Again, I don't want to make excuses for people who are 23 years old, but they are still young, and I still did dumb things when I was 23 years old. The problem is when you get into a any professional, if it's a sports professional in work, that kind of stuff's going to get you in trouble, no matter if you're in a corporate office somewhere or you're playing, and especially when you have everybody covering you. You might be able to slide if you're not being covered by every sports reporter out there.
Correct.
So I don't know. I don't know. It could be a little bit of, hanging out with, and being with your friends and not really thinking of the moment. But I don't know. That's a hard one. That's really a hard one to say. Even if you did grow up in, some bad area where that's where they carried all the time. Not everybody obviously not everybody who is in that same situation reacts the same way or does it. Some people mature a little bit faster than others, and some people know what they have. The problem I have with him is this isn't the first time.
Correct. Correct.
You think you would learn your lesson. You think, especially, someone of his talent is going to be able to get away with it and still have a job in the NBA over and over again. But there are some people who are not as talented, and if you do stuff like that, you may be out of a job. Most people would be out of a job. But yeah, I didn't know that's what happened. I didn't know he did that again.
So in the chat, it seems to be a split. What's up, Mr. Justin? Good to see you. Hey. So in the chat, Dennis Davis is insisting his dad was a banger. He said, Lily, don't speak on sports or athletes you know nothing about. Oh, we speak up here. We don't give a fuck. Okay. What we know, what we don't know. Maybe it's your first time here, Dennis Davis. Welcome. But we gonna say what the fuck we want to say up here. Sorry.
Ooh,
maybe I don't know. Maybe you don't know what the block is about, but we gonna talk our shit up here. Anyway, but
everyone else is disagreeing with him.
Okay, so Haran DeMarco says, the notion is being presented that all blacks behave in a thoughtless, derogatory manner. We aren't a monolith. Also, oh my, Vegatron says Ja Morant grew up middle class. Someone said he goes on to say a nice middle class. Again, oh my, Vegatron. And guys, you can cam up if you like. I'll drop the link. If you guys have info, please feel free. You ain't always got to we appreciate y'all. Y'all could come up, you know what I'm saying? And share with us what you know. We appreciate the information. Oh my, Vegatron says, if his dad were a gangster, he would have snatched him up like the fool he is and told him to get away from those bums. He made a comment saying he didn't grow up rich and only got to go to Disney like once a year. Oh, I never went to Disney, honey. I never went to Disney.
Did he really say that?
I'm willing to bet he grew up not just middle class, but the comfortable portion of middle class.
Wow.
Bob Dole, I agree with Bob Dole. He says that's corny for people to blame the friend when it's Ja's mistake. Yeah, I don't blame the friend at all. Haran DeMarco, thank you for the super chat, sir. Salute to you. Haran says, Lily, don't speak on sports. She spoke on the behavior. Lily didn't speak on sports. She spoke on the behavior of a moron who happened to be in sports world. Hopefully you cats stop jock riding for 10 seconds and hold people accountable. Totally agree with that. Manny Lynn also says, to answer the question, John Morant did not grow up poor, but he wasn't particularly rich either. His parents made, what is that?
His parents.
Something trainers.
Okay.
Enough?
Oh, okay, I get it. His parents made enough for trainers for Morant. His father, T. Morant, did all he could to his dad was good. Yeah, I mean that's the majority of the comments I'm seeing, that he didn't grow up out in the streets to be acting, you know what I mean, like a total thug in a car waving a gun. And by the word thug, anybody can be a thug. It's not race specific. Okay, there are Italian thugs, there are white thugs, there are black thugs, there are Puerto Rican thugs, but a thug is a thug. So if it offends you, fuck off, because a thug is a thug. Not race specific, but there are thugs. We have thugs in every fucking, demographic. So Jake Cavassier said, I've never been to Disneyland either. Then we're in the same team, Jake, because I've never been to Disneyland.
I was an adult before we made it to Disneyland.
Okay,
that was last year.
I've never been. It's always been like a mirage to me, right?
I was listen,
don't
go in July.
Really, really white. I've been to Disney World and Disneyland.
Oh my God. Go ahead. See, look at that privilege. Look at that damn privilege, those things.
Right.
Yeah, so I've never been, but good for him, right? I did send my baby there. I sent my daughter with one of my brother-in-laws and everything. I made sure she was good. I was like,
see, that's how my family now. We didn't have money, but we would, like, everyone knows we were very close. We're like one big gang, so we couldn't afford Disney World, but we would do Virginia Beach, and we'd be crowded up in different rooms, or Myrtle Beach and crowded up in different rooms. But this was, and that was every year, every summer. My family, we still do that to this day. But we can afford mansions in Disney World now. But you get.
I was gonna say it could be proximity too. I mean, I'm like a 12-hour drive from Disney World.
No, it's because you're white. No, it's not proximity.
It is.
But it ain't proximity.
The white kids at my school was going to Disney World.
In Virginia, did you go to Busch Gardens there?
We went to Busch Gardens and King's Dominion. We was because King's Dominion was like an hour away from DC, so we kept it pretty local. But it was still about the family at the end of the day. I think us kids wouldn't have really cared where we were at as long as we were together. That's what I always tell people about children. They are going to barely remember what you spent on them. And we all know that as adults, but it's the experience, is good or bad, that they're going to remember the most.
That's true.
That's another great point, Lily. It's like all these guys that are complaining about, you want to take coffee? Like, it's not about the amount of money for the day. It's about being imaginative. Like, hey, I got us tickets to Disneyland. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Just be imaginative. You know what I mean? Don't be fucking, hey, coffee? I don't want to spend $300. Right? That's the voice I hear. Right. That's the voice I hear when they talk like that. My filter automatically transfers their voice to that. You don't want to go coffee? That's what happens in here. So my opinion on this kid is he's a knucklehead. We could say that, well, he's just 23 and we still did stupid things at 23, but we're in the age of information. He's also got in trouble for the same thing before. Also, because these athletes are a commodity to the franchises, right? They are very clear with the do's and the don'ts. This isn't some ignorant kid. They put a basketball in his hand and threw him on the court. There are contracts. There are warnings. There are rules. These guys sit in rooms with other people. This is what you can and can't do. You're this. You belong to the league now. You belong to the NBA. You are property, basically. Can't do this, can't say this, can't do this on social media. So they're constantly being told what to do and what not to do. They even tell them they have to dress a certain way.
Yep.
So I'm not as forgiving. Oh, he's 23. This is not a kid that's running around the street, don't know his left from his right. So there's only one or two things I can think of. Either he has some sort of mental deficiency where he's on the spectrum and he's stupid, or he don't give a fuck. And both of those
Yeah.
are bad. Either he feels untouchable, like I'm John Morant, I can do whatever, or he's on somebody's spectrum. He's some sort of spectrum, because
Somebody's spectrum.
somewhere in some psychiatrist's office, because it's like, how many times are you gonna fuck up? You fucked up the same exact way before, and it wasn't that long ago. But is it deeper than that? You know what I mean, Lily? Like you said, what is the lure of the hood, right? But and is it exclusive to us? And when I say us, I mean Latin and Black. Is it exclusive to us? Are we trying to get away from it?
I don't see no Saint rushing down to the trailer park unless he's putting out a fire, and he might not even go for that.
Now, with that said, we saw earlier. What's the little girl that was rapping now with the wig glued on her forehead? The little white girl.
Travis Barker's daughter.
Okay,
From
all right,
Malibu.
Okay, Travis Barker was a drummer for who? Haran. Who was Travis Barker a drummer for? What
He went
band?
straight to Haran for the white bands and went right past No Saint. He's our resident colonizer. That's sad.
Yeah,
But
he
we
doesn't.
knew where to go now. We knew where to go.
Oh, I want my reparations. Yeah, people have told me enough that I'm Black too, so I want my reparations. Okay, Blink 182. So Travis Barker
I know that
is okay. Well, that's the drummer, No Saint.
Okay.
He's the guy with the tattoos all the way up like a turtleneck. He's dating one of the Kardashians, Courtney, right? Okay, so Travis Barker has a little daughter that he raised in Calabasas, and she was rapping now, right? So she's promoting herself. She had the lace front, the wig glued on her forehead with the little thing. She was giving you, the Black is Black so that she could muster up, right? Her little rap
Her best
thing.
Ice Spice.
Her best, right? Actually, she sounded even harder than Ice Spice. That's
You're
what's
right.
crazy.
No, that's true. She had bars.
This is crazy. She had bars,
yeah.
right? So somebody's writing for her, and I got a feeling it's not a white person. It's not one of her little white friends from her private school.
Probably
So
Chat GPT or Chat EBT.
there you go. There you go. So that's a good example of when white people are, how is it, when they fantasize about being like people of color, it's never a person of color of prestige and excellence, right? I've never seen a white person be a poser of people of color and they were mimicking, let's say, an Oprah Winfrey or
Barack Obama
or Lauryn Hill, right? I've never seen a white person mimic a Black person, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be like this. Now, Kim Kardashian was all up Jennifer Lopez's ass. That's her idol, right? So she probably modeled a lot of what she did after Jennifer Lopez, because she's always spoken publicly about she's all up her ass, right? That's one girl who grew up, right? That's one girl that grew up in Calabasas, and she was like, I'm gonna get the ass, and she, I'm gonna be, I call her trans Latina. It's funny that a lot of people say they trying to be Black. I'm like, they look more trans Latina to me than Black, but that's a whole other topic. So going back to my point, this little old white girl that grew up in Calabasas with Travis Barker. As her daddy is now rapping, and she got a wig glued to her forehead. And this is what happens. This is the lure of the hood. We can't leave out also that it's glamorized, right? Gangsters are glamorized. I lost count of the Black rappers named after Italian gangsters.
I have an interjection.
Absolutely.
Mr. Justin said no white guys are out here trying to be like Malcolm X. I have a correction. We did have Dame come up.
Oh,
Just wanted to put
oh
that out there.
man.
Okay, continue.
Oh man.
Continue.
Listen.
It's Monday.
Listen. No, say I have to take a drink. Hey man, listen. The last thing you want to do is fuck up on the block. You're a forever roast after that. You are. We tag you up on the wall like you are a forever roast.
Like the people like that at the bodega who steal,
Yes.
who give a counterfeit bill.
No, saying that did you know that in our little hood stores, when you steal, they take a fucking Polaroid of you and put it at the front?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it'll be people we know from the neighborhood be like, oh shit, look at Maria.
Okay.
Maria was trying to steal a 6-pack.
My girlfriend Pal was always she had 3 pictures up there.
Yes, you are forever on the wall, no say. At the Family Dollar, at the bodega, they will put the Polaroid up. You don't want to get caught stealing in the hood, okay? Wait, I see another super chat I must acknowledge. Thank you so much for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, sabotaging success is a thing I have noticed in the Black community. To me, Ja is afraid to lead. The expectations are too great, and everyone is leaning on him. Ooh,
that's deep. That's heavy.
Oh, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy. You know why, Lily? Remember before, I don't know how long ago I said it. I said these athletes are usually the first millionaires in their family, and they have to take care of everybody. Grandma, uncle, got to send these kids to college, got to buy grandpa a car because his car's broken down. That is a lot of pressure. Is Ja Morant rebelling? Like, fuck y'all.
You know
Is
what?
he rebelling?
That's a really good point, and I'm gonna. This is good. That hit me hard, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I started YB Limited, I didn't start it alone. I started it with my roommate and one of my really good friends, and I promise you, I can't even tell you how many times. And I look back and I'm like, what made me keep accepting him back into the company and back into the fold? But every time we would hit a big milestone, he would self-sabotage. And I'm not talking about self-sabotage and like something small. Like he would literally relapse on drugs and we were roommates. He would trade in our lofty, nice downtown apartment to sleeping on the streets of Atlanta. And then we'll come back 5 months, 6 months to a year later, and then I would accept back. That's my, I'm accepting and he would do excellent, and we'll hit more milestones. And as soon as we hit those, it's back to that again, over and over. And so, yes, there is a such thing, just like, a lot of people are more familiar with fear of failure, but fear of success is just as real. And I've witnessed it with my own eyes. So, yes, he has a real point there because I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've been a part of it. That's real. That's very real.
Well, let's give that an atheist amen, because I also I remember watching a Charlie Sheen interview, and Charlie Sheen said that people are always telling him, why does he keep fucking up? The world is his oyster. He's a Sheen, first and foremost, successful actor, very wealthy. Why does he keep fucking up? And his answer was, and I'm paraphrasing, but his answer was basically, if you feel you don't deserve all the good shit that's happening to you, you will find a way to fuck it up.
He used to say that.
Really?
He used to say, because let me tell you, a lot of stuff that you've seen me do, he taught me. He is literally the most talented person I have ever met in my life. But what I just said is something that used to get under his skin. And people used to tell him that all the time. He used to say how much it bothered him when people would call him talented and would praise his talents and things like that. Still to this day, I don't fully understand it. I don't.
Yeah, it's not for us to understand. That shit is it's deep. It's psychological. But after Charlie Sheen said that in the interview, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So it's like if you think that you're not deserving of it, there's really nothing anybody can tell you. There's nothing anybody can tell John Morant, like, you're stupid. Why you keep fucking up? The whole world is your oyster, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to compute to him. And maybe that kid has some trauma that's being overlooked by his parents. And how much is that contract worth? Chat, hold me down. How much is that contract worth? How much money was that kid getting or supposed to be getting?
And he's guaranteed to get all of it. I don't remember the exact numbers, but you know how sometimes they break it up and split it up. He's guaranteed that money in his contract.
How much money is he fucking off over there? Mr. Justin said, my coffee dates are most memorable. You enjoy, sir. You enjoy.
Well,
won't be me across the table with some coffee. You enjoy.
He's most likely either on his second contract or coming up to his second contract.
That's gonna be the symbol for the coffee. Every time I see like a lame or something, that's gonna be our symbol, Lily, for the coffee daters. We're gonna be like, Lily, he's a.
Uh-oh.
We're so bad. Go ahead, no saying.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know if he's on his second contract or yet, but whenever he gets his second contract, it's going to be like a max contract, which is upper echelon in the NBA. It's going to be maximum to keep him there. So he's going to get, guaranteed, I don't know what exactly it's going to be, but it's going to be over $20 million a year for sure. It's probably going to be close to 30-something million, I would imagine.
194 million.
That's what his contract is right now?
I knew it was 100 something. It was 100.
So that's over how many years?
5.
Okay, so divide that by 5, and that's what you do. Yeah.
But and do you think? Go ahead.
No, so you're right. Like the NFL, the NBA, they coach these players. You can see it. Even the rookies that get drafted, or someone in their first year, when they're getting interviewed, they give kind of canned answers to controversial questions because they've been coached in training camp. They're going to, and they'll even play the game where somebody's the reporter and start asking questions, and they teach them how to avoid these potholes. But they are trying to protect the image because it's just a different world we live in today than it was 20 years, 25, 30 years ago, where they hid a lot of that stuff. You could hide all that stuff. And you didn't know, it would have to be discovered by somebody from the outside. A team would hide a lot of these things, and that's not happening anymore. It's impossible because of the social media, and they're telling on themselves half the time. And but I still say, listen, everybody's different. When I was in the military, they try to teach you to do the right thing, and you got 18, 19-year-old kids in there that it doesn't matter. They're messing up too. Even though they're told, don't spend your government credit card only on things like hotels that you're staying at, only on things, do not spend it. And what did they do? One guy, he went to the, in Nevada, he went and paid for his hooker.
Priorities. I mean, that could be work related.
The chat is on fire today. I'm really appreciating you, chat. I'm appreciating you today, chat. Look at these comments. Bob Dole, this is another layer to it. Is this a possible?
More if you hit the like button.
Right. Hit that like button. This is some great content. And I'd appreciate you more if you sent super chats, but we all have our things. But the chat's on fire today. Bob Dole says, on the real, the music one listens to can sometimes have somewhat of an impact on behavior. Ja might be one of those cases. Now, he does listen to the gun-toting killer hip hop. Okay. All right. That is a sub genre of hip hop. The little gun-toting, you know what I mean? It's
you gotta consider it.
Right. So maybe he's just acting out because, all the rappers want to be athletes and all the athletes want to be rappers. Right. So it's like maybe he's doing the little, it feels good. Abby, this is a great comment as well. It's a race to the bottom because the bottom is more appealing.
Right.
Yeah.
The bottom is more appealing. This is true. You can't deny it.
You can't.
I was going to make mention of that when you were talking. I heard Lily talking earlier about people in the middle class that, were coming in and you were saying they were kind of acting more like they were from the hood or whatever. And I was gonna say, yeah, exactly what that comment was talking about. It's not it's kind of lame to be square, especially as a young person. You know what I mean?
Especially as a young person, yeah.
And that music, the rap, and that's a good point too with the music. It's like me if I was listening to some rock I'm playing an air guitar. And in this case, he's got his guns out because I don't know, maybe the rapper had guns in the video. So I get that comment too. I get both of those things because it makes me remember you were talking about posers like Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks's son.
Yes. Well, he's white again. He's white again, you all.
Is he white again?
He's white again, you all.
We're talking about Tom Hanks' son. He was rapping for a little bit and rebelling against being rich. I remember.
Yes, because it's not cool to be rich as a teenager. You didn't earn it. First of all, you didn't earn it, right?
Right.
And yeah, I mean, we all know that, we talk about it on here at the swag and everything. Well, if you're kind of white and square, it's just not cool, so you want to be cool. So you want to, maybe fit in or whatever.
To be fair, we've seen that from children of Black parents who are wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like when Jaden Smith first came out, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's son, everybody was like cornball. Every kid that's tried to rap coming from that T.I. camp, T.I. and Tiny, cornball. Like a lot of them kids that grew up with the rich Black parents, every time they try to rap, cornball. Like nobody takes them seriously because they come out rapping about shit that they didn't experience, right? So, it's just, I guess it's just that tax bracket. It's not really race specific because Black kids do it too. It's like, oh, sit the fuck down. Like, yeah, Romeo, like, just sit down.
Yeah, but it's
ice, baby.
He doesn't even count.
Yeah, we're not gonna count him. He just got through the cracks. He got through the cracks.
Haranza Marco says, older Black and browns from the hood wish to forget about the hell they survived. Middle-class Black youth assume Black strength lies in trauma, violence, and struggle. A caricature. Yep, we've seen the caricatures. Oh, my Vegatron says, well, Ja doesn't have to buy his mama a house. They're fine. He's just soft, if that's the case. Oh, shit. Fahim Jackson says $300 million contract and endorsements.
That's to be more careful.
Can I get the contract? I'll behave.
I'll finish it up.
I won't even bring my guns outside.
I'll finish it up. I'll just be on the bench, but I'll finish it up for him.
Jesus. Kasim said Ja Morant signed a 5-year, $194 Oh, that just made my heart skip a beat. $194 million fucking dollars.
Yeah, I like Abby's comment too. It's just so one-dimensional. Hip-hop is so one-dimensional now. The men and the women.
That's a lot of money. I love y'all back. Jesus. Mr. Justin says, this is what happens when young people are granted success without the years of mental ups and downs, learning how to manage what is built over time. Same happens to actor kids rocketed to stardom.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. I often say this, and this is in their defense, that I am so glad I didn't experience this level of success in my 20s because of how I already was without the money. I do think I would have probably been dead. So I do understand that part, like what Justin was saying. It's like you get that fast and you don't. Oh God, that's good. That could be a death sentence. That could be for some people. It has been for some people.
Right. David Dillon says, hate that our bottom is appealing. It's interesting because even like all the rappers that have named themselves after Italians, and there are many. Okay, the mob is quite appealing. But even when you look at the Italians, right, for instance, you don't see the derogatory criminals nonetheless. The mob was
Gangsters
criminals.
and thugs are two different things.
But you don't see in the Italian community, first of all, they kept their neighborhoods clean. Okay, they weren't having that. Ain't no graffiti over here. You're gonna respect our women. Okay, even the mistresses, the kumaras, were respected, and everybody knew their place. Everybody had, it was a pecking order, and there was respect in the neighborhood. There was respect for the older people. So yeah, it made sense that these guys are part gangster and part gentleman. It made sense that you guys are looking up to them. With that said, there were also black gangsters, but the black rappers still insisted on calling them, naming themselves after Italian mobsters and gangsters, right? So it's interesting that, you know, why is our bottom appealing, right? It's not appealing to me because it was a way of life. It was part of my life. But what makes it so appealing to other people? What is that?
I really don't know because you don't see them trying to be like Slum Village in India. No, Slumdog Millionaire. You don't see
Yeah,
them
yeah.
trying to be Slumdog Millionaires. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like it's only black degeneracy that seems to be appealing to so many different people. It's
Right.
phenomenally. I really would like to know the psychology behind this.
Interesting. Definitely quite a case study, if I do say
Hmm.
so myself. Quite a case study.
Hmm.
You know, why wasn't Vanilla Ice or you know what I mean, Eminem acting like, you know, the meth heads in the trailer parks?
Right. Right.
Right? I don't, you know, say
I mean, what we can see is okay. I'm putting it together, and this is I'm thinking it's over in real
in
time,
real
right?
time. Dun dun
Right?
dun 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 dun.
No, no, I don't start there. I didn't start there. I started because I'm what I'm about to say. I'm about to go back a little bit,
Okay.
but I'm going to go to after he was gone. So, but
Okay.
around that time, let's just start. We can start there. Around that
Mm-hmm.
time, we had a lot of different variety. We had Vanilla Ice. We had people who was going to shoot us and kill us. Then we had people who was going to take us out to dance, and then we had LL who was going to lick his lips all night. We had different varieties of people,
Right.
and then somewhere along the line, especially in the 2000s, it just slowly synonymously became about degeneracy, okay, over a dope beat, right?
Yes.
So you got dope beats, right? You have fame, you have money, you got cars, you got women. They look like they're having so much fun,
Oh yes.
access. Yeah, that could be kind of appealing, you all,
Mm-hmm.
to a young person, not to us.
Listen, the likes are half the lurkers. Y'all gotta help me out, guys. If you're not gonna super chat, them likes are also currency. Hit that like button for mama. Okay? I see y'all lurking. All you exes, all you guys that are blue on your neck. And I know y'all lurking. Hi, baby. Do me a favor, hit that like button. All you people that claim y'all hate me, right? Hi, how y'all doing? Hit that like button. All you people that are here to steal content. Hi, hit that like button for mama. All you guys that are genuine fans, in case you forgot, hi, hit that like button. Come on. Y'all all welcome. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Yeah, fuckers. Um, Abby says the black community does not mimic the things that Italians do that are just as you described. Yeah, absolutely. Like it wouldn't be so bad if, like, you know what I mean, they took the names Gotti, you know what I'm saying, Capone, you know, shit like that, and then modeled themselves after, you know, the way that these guys took care of their community, their women, the respect they had for their women and their children. It would be nice. It would have been nice to see, but that, as we know, that's not the case. Do we
Right.
do we muddy everything we touch?
It's really scary because look, even like you said, the black gangsters. That's why I said there's a difference between gangsters and thugs.
Mhm.
These are straight up thugs. Thugs are people who destroy like just everything they touch. But
Right.
real gangsters have cold. But in our community, we don't even really have them anymore. Because they
Hmm.
used to look after the neighborhoods and stuff like that. They used to make sure the old ladies were fed.
Hmm.
They, it was no women and children were off limits,
Hmm. Hmm.
things like that. Even that has been, there's no OGs like them in the hood no more to kind of rough them up and, get them in line and things like that. There's a lot missing. There's a lot here.
What about a Frank Lucas? Do you think that a Lucas was similar to the Italian mobsters? He was
You
pretty.
do
He was
okay.
pretty
The
fancy.
movie, the movie Frank Lucas, or because I know some things.
I mean, Frank
Okay.
Lucas in general. He wasn't. You know what I mean? He was dressed doing this thing.
Yeah, that's another topic. I'm not gonna go there, because I'm gonna skip that one.
Okay. All right. Sarah C coming out with the bang bang. She said, "Black men don't believe in protecting their image or communities." Nobody hit the race bell. I should have hit the race bell
I'm
before I
looking
read
for one
that.
right now. Yeah, Liberty Bell, something.
What's up, Tova? The Liberty Bell. That needed the Liberty Bell. Um.
Ooh,
Uh.
mm, Jay said they all turned to informant. Is that where they all at?
Yeah. I mean, but every demographic of gangsters does that. Black, Latin,
Yeah.
Italian. Eventually, everybody get to telling because they don't want to do that 25 to 30. So they all. I mean, they all did that. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 35 years. Well, let me tell you what had happened, right?
Right.
Tony and Patrick, right?
Or they were going to get a hit, or they were going to get whacked, and then they were like,
Mm-hmm.
"I'll go to witness protection."
Right.
David Dillon basically summed up what I was saying is that Hollywood makes these things look appealing and good and glamorous and shiny and there's a lore, and like I said, you put something over a good beat. It's very
Well,
much.
David Dillon is making a great point because here's the thing: when we've all seen these characters done by Hollywood, they were these roles were being played
Glamorized.
by actors that we like.
Look at Power series and all of
Right?
the
So
50
it's
Cent
like
series.
you throw in a beautiful woman or a beautiful man, and he's playing a gangster. Now you're adding to the lore of like, oh my God, look at Denzel, gangster, fine, tall. You know what I mean? Oh my God, look at Griselda Blanco being played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. I saw that movie and I was like, ooh, I wish I was back then. You know what I mean? I did my little ounces here and there, but I was like, ooh, Griselda was killing them with fucking, kilos and shit. Look how fine she was, so fly.
Mm-hmm.
And they put these wonderful actors in these roles, and it does. I mean, Pacino and De Niro. It's like, ooh, I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ooh, look at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious. Griselda, that was the queen of cocaine down in Miami from Colombia, right?
See.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that movie. I know about her. What movie is that? Because I like Catherine Zeta.
No Saint, then you are going to listen. Then it's going to be the best of both worlds to you because it's Catherine Zeta-Jones playing Latina. And let me tell you something. I'm real picky about like, bitch, you ain't no parts Latina. And then when I turned the movie on, I was like this.
You forgot.
I promise. I turned the movie on and I was like, bitch, let me see. I dare you. I dare you to listen. She killed it. I don't know where Catherine Zeta-Jones pulled the Latina out her ass from.
Right.
But she killed that role. She dug deep. And I believed that was Griselda Blanco. She was beautiful, a G. Like I watched it more than once.
Wow.
And I rarely do that.
What movie?
Yeah, I rarely do that.
I forgot what it's called. What's it called, chat? Cocaine Queen or Queen something?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. You could look it up. No Saint.
Okay.
I don't think she got enough credit for that film. And honestly, I think the reason why she was so good in it is because it was a passion project that she was trying to do for many, many years. So she did. That was like her passion. Like, I want to bring this. I mean, amazing performance. And I don't say that lightly because I ain't just gonna give white folks accolades. All right, fuck y'all. But no, I salute to her as, you know what I mean, as a creative, amazing. Like, I would watch it again. Like, just talking about it makes me want to watch it again.
Wow.
Amazing,
Okay,
amazing.
Because
I was like,
I've seen documentaries on her, but I've
Yeah,
never watched the movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and watch the movie
yeah, she was
Yeah.
since you said it
brutal,
was
man.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Catherine brought it, and she brought that brutality to her. It was like, holy fuck! Like, yeah, she was more brutal than the guys in her camp. She was like, hold my wine.
Right, right.
Mr. Justin is commenting on the Italians, and then we will segue into our topic for tonight. Um, Italian gangsters were driven by super strong family bonds, super strong. They also were driven by generational long game plans, very little ego. So good at the game, the FBI were confused for decades.
Yeah, and I've actually seen them work. They work a lot different. They work like you can be around them and not even realize what's going on. You know, the way they move is so different, not flashy. All of that stuff. They clean their money differently. um they don't like to draw attention to themselves. They're so anti a lot of the
Mhm.
stuff that you see these thugs do. Like, I think No Saint was saying, like, they tell them, how these thugs tell on themselves with social media and stuff like that. These Italians, people that I've met, they don't even want a social media. And if they do have a social media, their face is not on it. They probably posted memes and cat videos or some shit.
Right. And you notice that even with what's his name? The black, he's a gangster in tech. I may fuck this up, chat, so hold me down. His name Jay something. Now he's all over the place on podcasts. He's supposed to be like a gangster and people got to check in with him. I'm not sure if it's Texas or no, I'm not sure, but
Oh, Jay Prince,
okay,
child.
yes, Jay Prince. Like, he's another example of I gotta be seen, right? Where back in the day, the gangsters, we didn't even know who the fuck was who because everybody was like, we don't volunteer information. And now these guys got diarrhea of the mouth and they naming names, and it's different. It's real different from when, I mean, I was a little girl watching my dad. We didn't know shit from shit, and my dad was always like, "Why are you answering questions you weren't asked?" I was like,
Hmm.
okay. He was like, why are you volunteering information? Did somebody ask you that? No,
Right.
Daddy. I'm holding my Barbie like, no, Daddy.
Oh my God, my dad used to do stuff like that. I was like, I'm 5. Why do I need to know this? Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah. Oh,
was,
yeah, my dad was like that. My dad was like that.
it was so
He was
weird.
like, never volunteer. He was like, you got friends? I was like, sure, Daddy. Holding my Barbie. He was like, no, you don't. Friend is a
That was
dollar in your pocket. Go put a dollar in your pocket. That's your
that
friend.
was my dad has been telling me that
I
forever.
was
The
like,
whole
okay, Daddy. Come with my Barbie. I was like, I don't know what you preparing me for, Dad, but I don't know what's happening out there,
I,
right?
no, I would never forget that time I was with my dad. We were walking down the street, and this literally out of nowhere. I'm like 4 or 5. I cannot make this up. He goes, he was like, "What was that guy doing with his hands?" What guy? What are you talking? Who? He was
Yeah.
like, so you just gonna let somebody walk past you with their hands in their pocket and you don't? Who is we talking about?
Yep. Yep. That was my dad. That was Daddy.
Oh God.
Hold on. Let me. Oh, hold me down, Lily. I'm looking for something on YouTube.
Okay, like I'm like I should not know these things, but you know what? Um, I had a really good talk with my dad today. We had a really good talk because we was he was asking about the show, how the show was going, and some of the things we discussed and things like that. And then we started talking about marriage because I can pretty much talk to my dad about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were talking about marriage and just different things. And I was telling him my take on it, just like where I've arrived to, where I'm at today, and stuff like that. And we had a very interesting conversation. Um, I didn't I didn't think that he saw things the way he did just because he's old school and he's been married for what, going on 20 years to my stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. but what he said kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, basically, I mean, it was a lot of things we discussed, but he was talking about, he was like, "Well, basically, look, when you get married, you're just pretty much assuring that you have a good roommate and so occasional company here and there after a while." He was like, and then both parties might have a whole relationship going on as long as they don't bring it home. All is well. I was like, "Damn, okay,
Right.
it's like that."
Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says people non-black love the gangster is because it's like a zoo. Zoos give you the ability to stand near the animals without experiencing real danger. Fahim is cooking tonight.
He is.
Tova, I gotta disagree. I love you, darling, but this is a definite no. She says, yeah, because Cuban is not a race. Anyone can play a Latino, Hispanic, literally. No, absolutely not. There are certain accents. There are certain nuances. There are certain mannerisms. I mean, Puerto Ricans can tell you're Cuban. Cubans can tell you're Dominican. Dominicans can tell you're Mexican. It is not easy to play a Hispanic. We're all very, very distinct. And I
Even
know
I can
from the
tell.
yeah, even from the outside looking in, I know it looks like, oh, they speak Spanish, they're Mexican, but we can tell. Like, for instance, there's this brings to mind a particular actress in the movie Carlito's Way. Her name was Steph, and Steph belonged to the club. Remember Steph in Carlito's Way? She played a Puerto Rican girl. The accent was off, the mannerisms were off. It was horrible. And anybody that was Puerto Rican watching Steph was like, what the fuck was that? We don't do that. She was like, all right, Carlito.
They got
Oh,
Rosie
God.
Perez.
Huh?
Should have got
Yeah, it
Rosie
was,
Perez.
yeah, and anybody, any Puerto Rican actress. But I'm like, no, it was, we can tell, right? We can tell. Just like Cubans didn't like Al Pacino's portrayal in Scarface. I thought it was Oscar worthy, amazing,
Right.
right? But Cubans were like, that ain't even our fucking accent, right? So
Mhm.
and I'm not Cuban, so I don't know exactly what their accent is. But even you know, what I mean, even with Al Pacino playing Carlito, I thought he did well. But there was some Puerto Ricans that held it. Same thing with Selena. I mean, with Jennifer Lopez playing Selena, Mexican was like, we don't talk, you know. So yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't. Like
Yeah.
people will call you out like that's not how we talk because our accents are distinct.
Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember me, Benny Blanco from the Bronx? Yeah. Um, yeah, Sarah. Steph was supposed to be Puerto Rican in the film. We were like, no, girl, no, sis, no.
That
You
is
know,
so
but that's
funny.
not. But that's not her fault. That's up to casting. Like, shit.
Yes.
I played the last role I played. You could catch me in the Bad Girls 2. It's on Amazon right now. I play a Colombian drug czar. The Bad
Oh, I'm gonna have
Girls
to
2
watch it.
on Amazon. I played Colombian, and I wasn't. If a Colombian woman would have come to me and be like, "That ain't even our accent," I'd be like, "Salute, sis," because I don't know your accent.
Yeah, right. But I cashed that check.
I'm like,
Yeah.
right. I got my money, but respect to your ethnicity. I'm not even going to argue that it's
Hmm.
not your proper accent. I'm not about to do that, but I'm gonna take that money. You
Right.
want to cast me as Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Colombian. I'm gonna go ahead and take that money, and it's up to you to say that bitch don't sound like us. Salute, but I'm gonna take this money. I'm gonna go on ahead and take this money if y'all don't mind.
That's it. That's it. And that's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. First of all, I don't know if she was talking about Catherine Zeta-Jones, but she was playing a Colombian and not a Cuban. Because
Yeah.
yeah, but there is it before I was married and paid attention a lot. I couldn't tell you the difference when people spoke Spanish. It just all sounded like unless it was from Spain because they have a lisp when they talk.
Yeah,
Spain, yeah,
yeah, they
so
do that shit.
Castilian Spanish, but now I can listen and I don't understand very much in Spanish. I can pick up words here and there, but I can tell you a Cuban from a Colombian. Colombian Spanish is very. Everybody loves it. It sounds very. Maybe it sounds like for Americans, maybe like what you see on the news, very proper, very good, right? Cubans, buena dia, buena dia. You know, it's not buenos dias, it's buena dia. You know what I mean? So you can hear certain things, you can pick up. It's not, and that's why, like you said, I know now. Like, yeah, it's they're totally different accents, and even when they're speaking English, they don't. From someone from a native Spanish speaker, don't sound the accents don't sound like a Mexican speaking English, sounding like a Cuban speaking English. Yeah, so
I mean, it's like people doing British accents or Southern accents. Like I could play around and be like, baby, come on in here, get you some piece of pie. Do you want some pie? And then someone from the South would be like, we don't talk like that, ma'am. I'd be like, yes, you do. No, don't you get spicy with me, honey. You come on in here and get you this piece of pie. And somebody from the South would be like, we don't talk like that. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. People in New Orleans talk all the time about how they always mess up the accents here, and especially if they try to do Cajun accents in movies. It's just so it's just.
I mean, and that's fine, and that's fine. Me too. I like that. The more country you sound, the more I like. I don't know what it is about me with the fucking country accents, but that's my thing. So you're not gonna get it right all the time. I think that people, you know what I mean? They want twins. They want a portrayal that's the person's twin. I mean, actors are going to get as close as possible, and that's that, right? Enjoy the movie, or don't watch it.
But what we're not going to have is another Viola Davis doing the Michelle Obama list.
Yeah,
crazy. What we're not going to do is that. Okay?
Yeah, that was horrible. That was bad.
That's all I got.
Okay, that's fine. We could end it right there. Because that was bad. That was really bad. That was horrific. So you guys, tonight's topic is something that we've been kicking around a little bit. Have we been conditioned to be attracted to certain types? Has the pendulum swung all the way to the other side and broken off, right? What am I talking about specifically? I'm going to show my age tonight. And I don't give a fuck about showing my age, bitch. What, right? I'm going to talk about the Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone, the black and white Twilight Zone, the Twilight Zone marathon every New Year's Eve. If you live in New York City, I don't know what other state they do it in. I know in New York City, Twilight Zone, the original with Rod Sterling, plays. They do a marathon, a Twilight Zone marathon, and it is so divine to watch. And then they did the new Twilight Zones, and then Black Mirror. If you watch Black Mirror on Netflix, it's really a bite off of the Twilight Zone. It's a remix, but it's really a bite off the original Twilight Zone. So you guys know that I refer to Twilight Zone with the airplane. Like, look, they're gonna fucking.
That's the only episode I really remember. Yeah.
So they have a couple classics that I always think about, and this particular episode of Twilight Zone reminds me of what's going on today. Okay, so I'm gonna play you the clip. And then we're going to take it into, this is going to be a very interesting topic tonight. Okay. I need you to put on your thinking caps. We're in science class tonight. Yeah, I'm going to bring up science tonight. So I need all my nerds to pay attention, put on your little thinking caps. Okay. And we're going to go through this. We're going to do a deep dive. So I'm going to play this clip for you. And it's very similar to what's happening today, where the pretty people, the attractive people are kind of being pushed to the side, right? For this new look of human being, be it they obese, jacked up face, missing limbs, missing nose, hanging eye. Check out this clip, all right, guys? This is going to be interesting. I'm still learning how to share the screen. Still learning. Let me know if y'all can see this. Wait, let me see.
Yep, it's coming up.
It's coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, so do you guys see me scrolling up?
I sure enough do.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna play you two clips. They're
Is that the porn you like?
Which one?
Is that the porn you like?
Don't play with me. I was like, holy fuck! I was about to shut this whole motherfucker down, Lily. Don't scare me like that. Scare me half to death. Holy fuck, they gonna see it. All right, here we go. They don't need to know me that well, Lily.
Right, right.
So I'm gonna hit the like button for me. I'm gonna play these clips for you. This is basically what's happening in 2023 in present time. And then I will explain and we can dissect. Here we go. Can you see this?
Enlarge it.
Okay, let me see. Where am I? Can you see it?
Yeah.
We can see it, but yeah, if you can enlarge it,
Let me
widescreen or
see.
whatever you call that.
Oh, full screen layout. Let me
Full screen. There we go.
Let me see if I could do it. Better? Little better?
Mm-hmm.
Little better? All right, maybe I could. How do I hide?
That
Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I wish I could. Oh, wait.
right there. There you go.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna get it together now. My geek squad is probably cringing right now.
Yes, they are. I'm just hearing them right now in my head.
Yeah, my geek squad is cringing. All right, guys. So I'm gonna play this clip for you. It's just maybe 1, 2, 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna play the following clip. But look at this.
Now, we have done all we could do. If we've been successful, well and good, there are no problems. But if, on the other hand, this final treatment has not achieved the desired result, please remember, Miss Tyler, that you can still live a long and fruitful life among people of your own kind. All right, Miss Tyler. Here comes the last of it. I wish you every good luck. No change. No change at all. Wait a minute. Turn on the light. Needle, please.
All right, guys. So you guys see that?
Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, I want to play the next one. I want you to see how. Hold on. It's not what I wanted to do. Come on, work with me. So I want you to see how, as you saw, right? She's obviously the attractive woman in the room, but it's a shock to the ugly people. We're just going to use attractive and ugly for the sake of this, all right? Get offended, just Gmail me.
Yeah.
So I want you to see how she's being ousted. Let's see if this is the clip here. This is interesting, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. Is it this one? I hope it's this one.
When will they take the bandage?
Congregated.
Tonight.
Okay, this is her freaking out because.
Needle, please. We must cut off all that is different, like the cancerous growth. It is essential in this society that we not only have a norm, but that we conform to that norm.
Miss Tyler. Miss Tyler. We have a lovely village and wonderful people. I think you're gonna like it where I'm gonna take you. You'll be with your own kind.
Why do we have to look like this?
I don't know, Miss Tyler. I really don't know. There's an old saying. A very, very old saying. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, in this year or 100 years hence, on this planet or wherever there is human life, perhaps out amongst the stars. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Lesson to be learned in the Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay. What have we learned, class? What have we learned? How does that relate to today? Okay. There used to be a certain look to attractive people, right? The women on magazine covers and what have you, the men with the chiseled, jawline, right? The little, they had a certain height, certain weight. Fast forward to 2023 and social media, right? People look like this and they are getting praised for looking like this. We will look at, if we go to their comment section, literally they're being praised for looking like this. And if you deter, if you dare say this woman is not beautiful, if you dare say this woman is not bold and confident, they will tear your ass up in the comment section. Okay, you scroll any comment section. They're like, she's beautiful, she's bold, you look good, girl, you are fucking hot, right? Which takes us to my thumbnail today. Going back to the Twilight Zone, the girl with the X on her would be what was considered attractive, right? Not anymore. The girl on the right with the green check, that is what's attractive today. And you better fucking acknowledge it. So similar to that Twilight Zone episode, we see Normal, right? Normal, this woman is unbandaged. We're like, she's an attractive white woman. But in a world with the uglies, she's the odd person out. So my question is, now in a world of quote unquote uglies, people that are obese, short, receding hairlines, ugly noses, ugly, and I'm using the word ugly here for lack of a better term. You guys could do what you want with that. Okay, there's the block. We're gonna say it how we say it. So in the world now, are the attractive people like that episode of Twilight Zone? Follow me now. Are they being ousted and replaced with women that look like the one I put up on the screen? Are the attractive people being eclipsed by women that look like this? Is this the new standard of beauty? Just like in the Twilight Zone, the attractive woman was ousted by the uglies. They sent her away, right? She was the ugly one. Is that what's happening today? Because as I scroll social media, I'm starting to see that, and I'm starting to see it a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen it as well. You guys can comment in the chat if you've seen that as well. And then I will pass the mic.
So what's funny is when we decided this was the topic that we were doing tonight, soon as I backed out of the chat, the first thing I saw was this example. And the first thing I did was went to the comment section because I just wanted to see.
I do the same.
Okay, so before I could even hit the comment section, I saw that it was thousands of comments. And when I scrolled, yes, it was girl. Yeah, girl, you look good. That's right. Tell them, girl. You know. And so, okay, so us three, we've lived long enough to see beauty standards change, right? And then we even know about the beauty standards before we were even alive, right? So Marilyn Monroe, she was a curvy girl. And then we could fast forward to the 90s where heroin chic was in. And you had Kate Moss, and she hadn't had a burger in 10 years, she's on a permanent fast. And so now then we can fast forward again to 2023. So it's clearly this is what's being put out to be the new standard of beauty, and not just of beauty, um, of aesthetic, period. It's like sloppy is the new thing now. Unkempt is the new thing now. It's just crazy how little people put into their appearance today. It is the wildest thing. Like when I'm walking the streets now and just to see how sloppy everyone looks. And what really made me see how sloppy everyone would look, because I'm kind of weird. I just scroll weird things on YouTube, and I was looking at New York City. Like I like to look at videos from different cities from like way back in the day, like the 1900s and the 1920s. And
Mm-hmm.
if you and I love looking at New York City or Paris and things like that. And you see how in like the 1920s and 30s and how just immaculate they were dressed. You didn't know who was poor and who was wealthy by looking at this video because everyone was immaculate. I look at how I grew up. We didn't grow up with a lot of money, but where everyone was immaculate. Everyone made sure that their hair was done,
Yeah.
you know. And it wasn't immaculate in the what they consider immaculate, where you have the nails out the hair and the long, long weave with the baby hair and things like that. It was just that they were well kept, right? And now it's just like throwing a pair of Crocs, throw your hair in a messy bun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even one of those people that wants everybody wearing makeup and stuff like that. I like the natural bare face look. Um, but I'm seeing that's what's going on. And then on top of that, the videos that go viral is people with messy rooms, missing teeth. Um, it's just insane. I think I sent you the girl that I follow on TikTok. She has the confidence of Halle Berry. And if you look at her comment section, it's the same thing. And she kind of looks like the people in the Twilight Zone video. Um, but she has the confidence of Halle Berry, and the crowd just they keep feeding it to her,
Yeah, they
right?
eat it up. Mm-hmm.
They eat it up. It's really interesting. And yes, in addition to that, there seems to be an attack on beauty, polished, like things that are polished and
Mm-hmm.
well done and well put together. Um, it's just an interesting time that we're living in, but I've been observing it.
Haran DeMarco
Hold on, hold on,
says,
hold on, hold on. New Diamond, I love you, boo. But let's get something straight. Yes, I have on makeup, but if you heard me clearly, I said that I'm one of the people who don't say that women have to wear makeup because people assume because I wear makeup that I think that every woman should wear makeup. No, that was the point that I was making, sweetheart. Okay.
yeah, you've told me a myriad of times I don't need makeup.
Yeah.
This is true. Haran DeMarco says the democratization, oh shit, go ahead with them syllables, of media demands the average or even below average person to be deemed as beautiful due to the fact most people aren't tall, gym body, chiseled jaw, etc. Mediocrity wins. Sarah says,
Mm.
of course, mediocrity wins, especially in the Black community. You saw how they were butthurt over Ebony Williams. Another great example. Ebony Williams just suggested that we should want more, and they tore her ass up for weeks. Tore her
Mm-hmm.
ass up for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Tova says, just like Victoria's Secret, they used to only hire tall, beautiful, gorgeous, thin women. Now they are hiring short, chubby, curvy, average women. It's crazy to me. Modeling is a real profession. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, because Victoria's Secret is following Savage Fenty. Someone got in Rihanna's ear and said the majority of women in America are fat. Let's make some fat lingerie. And it took off. She's now at the $1 billion mark with Savage Fenty and Victoria's Secret. We're like, ooh, we're missing out on that bag. Let's throw some fat girls in our magazines. So they're late to the party, but I'm sure they'll make money too because big girls want to wear lingerie. Big girls want to wear bikinis. I'll show you, this girl here. She wants to wear a bikini, right? So let's talk a little bit about conditioning, right? Because there are certain people that will argue, no, the reason you like what you like is because media has conditioned you. The environment has conditioned you. Men have conditioned you, right? Everyone says that we like what we like because we're being conditioned by media. So I pulled up a couple articles I thought were interesting. Articles where they test babies from newborns to 3 months old as to what babies are attracted to, right? And I use the word attracted as what do they look at? What do they find pleasing? Just babies that haven't seen a Cosmo magazine, a Victoria's Secret ad, a Sports Illustrated ad. They just little babies thinking, where's my milk? Right? They've done this experiment a couple different times, and I pulled this up just so we're being fair, right? Because people will retort, no, it's the conditioning. That's why you want to like somebody skinny. That obese woman, she's the eye of the beholder. Like the Twilight Zone episode is called Eye of the Beholder. Is beauty simply in the eye of the beholder? So this article here talks about an experiment, some research that was done with babies. It says newborn babies prefer to look at attractive faces, says a UK researcher, suggesting that face recognition is hardwired at birth rather than learned. So if you're a science person, put on your thinking caps. This is research. Alan Slater and his colleagues at the University of Exeter showed paired images of faces to babies as young as 1 day old with their blurry vision and found that they spent more time fixated on the more attractive face. These are babies. Attractiveness is not in the eye of the beholder. It's innate to a newborn infant, says Dr. Slater. Developmental psychologists have known for years that babies have preferences for certain objects, such as high contrast images and curvy biological shapes, but where these preferences come from remain unknown. So even the scientists don't even know why the babies are staring at the pretty things. Slater's research using extraordinarily young infants supports the idea that babies are not mere blank slates, but instead come into the world with a fairly well-developed perception system. The group took pictures of a variety of female faces and asked adult subjects presented to rate them for attractiveness. Subjects scored each face on a scale from 1 to 5. The researchers then searched for pairs of photographs that were similar in all respects, in brightness and contrast, for example, but at the opposite ends of the attractive scale. Then they presented these paired photographs to newborn infants who ranged in the age from 1 to 7 days old. All babies were still in the hospital after birth. One researcher held each infant upright, about 30 centimeters away from the two photos. Another stood out of view and noted where the baby's eyes were directed and fixated. Almost all babies spent more time looking at the more attractive face than the less attractive one, says Slater, who will be presenting his results at the British Association for the Advancement of Science Festival of Science Exeter later this week. So that's just one of the articles I pulled up, and I want to discuss it a little bit. There's another article that goes into features of faces and things like that. So then if this was an experiment and they're still doing it, it's as recently as like 3 years ago. One of these is 10 years old. But if these experiments are real, if the results are real, then beauty is not in the eye of the fucking beholder. There is such thing as attractive. Now, I said that there are exceptions to the rule. I bring up Halle Berry, I bring up Jason Momoa, I bring up Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Those guys, that woman, Salma Hayek, Catherine Zeta-Jones, whoever you could think of, Iman, Naomi Campbell. These people are mainstream attractive, meaning that they can go in a room of 100 people and 90% of the people in the room be like, I'd smash. What is that? It looks good. Now, of course, you're going to have exceptions to the rule. I don't like Naomi Campbell. I don't like Salma Hayek. I don't like the Jason Momoa type. You're going to have those people. People love Boris Kojo and Shamar Moore. I hate how they look. They do nothing for him. Absolutely nothing. But if Shamar Moore walked in a room, the majority of the women are going to find him attractive. So I think that we lie to ourselves and each other like, no, there's no such thing as mainstream attractive. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And that's bullshit. Babies as young as 1 day old are staring at attractive people.
Right.
So what are we lying about? Because, as we get older, we learn to lie to save feelings. Babies don't care. They just got here and they're like, that's pretty. That's weird. I think we've seen that experiment in real time with ourselves. When we put a baby up to a very old person, the baby freaks out. And I can imagine it's because the baby thinks the face is distorted. There are wrinkles, they're hanging, and the baby is like, no, I don't want this old person. And we think it's funny and cute, but it's really the baby saying, what is this shit? right? What is this space? Why is this space distorted? So we've seen the experiment ourselves many times around our grandparents and newborn babies. And I'll pass the mic as I sift through the chat. Thank you for the super chat, Haranza Markham. He says, it's funny how this topic seems to be stirring nerves in the chat, yet y'all real clear on not dating dusty, lazy, financially broken people. I guess money shaming, race shaming, etc. ain't a thing. Oh, shots
Oh, wow.
fired. Shots
Okay.
fired.
Well, I'm going to say this. And going back to what you were saying about Boris Cujo and Shamar Moore and Jason Momoa and all those great people, um, like with Boris and Shamar, not my type, done nothing for me. At the same time, I can recognize why they are a lot of people's types. I can recognize that they are handsome men. They just don't do it for me. And that's just me being not a hater, right? I don't have to. There's even singers that they just don't do anything for me, but I recognize that they're extremely talented and why people love them and all of that good stuff. Okay, so when it comes to the baby thing, I learned this doing makeup. What that is that babies, in the article touched on the shape thing. They are attracted to geometrical shapes, right? And shapes that are geometrically balanced and equal. So when the face is geometrically a certain way, they are attracted to that, and typically that is the commercial universal beauty. um and it's not just babies. I mean, you take one of those beautiful people anywhere in the world and they're still going to be found beautiful. You can grab somebody out of a tribe in Sudan. A lot of those models come from some tribe in Sudan, and they whisk them off to Paris and now they're an international model. So it is a such thing as that. Now, am I going to discredit? Because this is the other part. I can't, when it comes to these adults, I can't fully discredit that because now you're starting to deal with the conditioning and stuff like that, right? Because a lot of times we'll see men marry one thing and mistress another thing, completely
Absolutely.
different. And
Absolutely.
so what I feel like that is like, because a lot of times for men, women are a status symbol, right? And so if this is what's in, this is what I want to show up to the party with. This is what I want to show up to the ball with. This is what I really like over here. Now, with that being said, I'm about to say something that a lot of people are not going to want to hear,
I
but
love
there
them
are,
statements. Go ahead.
okay, there's not I mean, there's, oh God, okay, here we go. There's not a lot of men that are lining up to be with the ladies that you showed, right? In the example.
Mm.
Now, the ones who are lining up, and
Mm-hmm.
and listen, this is not coming from my bias. This is coming from a lot of friends that have been morbidly obese and
Mm-hmm.
that have lost weight, okay? They have
Mm-hmm.
told me this themselves, and this is not my words.
Tell
But
the truth, shame the devil.
hello. So a lot of the men who are lining up to be with women who are morbidly obese are fetish seekers.
Mm.
They will do you and discard you.
No saint is saying yes. Yes, ma'am.
And I'll pass
So
the mic.
that okay, so that strengthens Jay Cavassier's comment. He says,
Oh,
nah, no matter how hard they push a narrative or try, they can't recondition centuries of biology. Attractiveness is an objective truth and metric. And also, Sarah C says the Victoria's Secret fashion show doesn't have fat or short models. I guarantee, Sarah, the next one will. I
yes.
guarantee, because they are chasing that Rihanna bag. I guarantee the next one ain't gonna have me walking down the runway. It's gonna be big old girl and bigger girl and big girl and big girl. Long as she's an influencer on Instagram and has 1 million followers, the fupa could hang to her kneecaps. I guarantee they're gonna start putting them on the runway. If they're smart, that is what they'll do because Rihanna is killing out here, killing.
Speaking of which, can we bring up this the there's a story going around about what's the show that we were talking about in the chat, you and I,
Mhm,
and the girl they're getting a divorce, Love After Lockup.
mhm,
The big girl and the small guy
mhm,
now they're getting a divorce,
mhm,
and it's like from what I gather, she was buying him. He was in prison,
mhm,
right? And so that, and then a lot of people are like, I found that a lot of people was using that there before today and the announcement of the divorce. People were using that as an example. Like, look, he got with her, they're together. He got out there still. They got married. They're still together. Yeah, until he got on his feet, and now he's filing for divorce. Like, do you really think that was his type?
mhm.
Really?
No saint.
Mhm.
You
Well, I
you the man
swore
of here. Let let
I
us
could be
know. Are you
I
are
could be
you are you kicking it to Shorty that I put up on the screen?
I could be mistaken. I swore I had said this on this show. It, I can't imagine I was on another show saying this, but and I don't know if I got pushback, but I was saying that there is a universal beauty, and I know about that study you're talking about, the
Mm-hmm.
baby study, that
Mm-hmm.
around the world there's a universal standard, and it what Lily said, it's a symmetrical face. It's the face, it's the symmetrical equal face, and you can go around the world and find those same looks and at any color, and people are going to find that general on average are going to say that's an attractive person. Um, so yeah, I don't believe at all that now Victoria's Secret is going to push this because they're going to have a lot of big women that want to put that on and be sexy for their man. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think men or whomever is looking at it, I don't think they're looking at it thinking that's going to be the new standard of beauty or somehow that's going to be something that we find attractive one day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I will say, and I wanted to show you this because Lily said something, and I'm 100% on board. Like this is a, I'm gonna, this is if you can see, let's see. So this is a Mardi Gras parade from 1898. Look
Mm-hmm.
how they're dressed. I'm like, I think it's the oldest Mardi Gras parade on video or whatever. And
I'm
they
gonna go
got
look that up.
hats on. They look like they're
Mm-hmm.
going to church or something like, or to a business meeting. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way as Lily. I look back and I'm like, man, in some way, listen, it would be uncomfortable as hell to be wearing that all the time. But but it looks nice. It looks nice compared to the way we dress today. But to bring it back to what we're talking about, also beauty standards do change over time. I realized that, like there was a time where, like in, the great UK and Britain, if you were kind of chunky, and even in the United States, I think that was the style because it meant you had wealth. If you were overweight, I mean, you had a lot of food. You know what I mean? But I just don't. I don't see it changing, like because women are posting more. I don't get these feeds that you're getting. I guess I'm not looking at those. I'm not liking those or something. Of the big women, I usually, I get the other ones, the BBLs, the BBLs and stuff like that. But no, I don't. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well,
No, I
social
don't feel like
media,
it either.
social media custom fits everybody's algorithm to what they look at.
Yeah, yeah.
Haran DeMarco, thank you for the super chat, sir. Haran says attractive equals privilege. Privilege is power. Everybody wants a piece. If that wasn't the case, many black men and women wouldn't spawn, date whites. Ooh, race bell, race bell.
Here we go.
They enslaved you, but you still want them for power.
Mm,
That's one
mm.
man's opinion.
Oh, no safe fired back. Let me tell you, for all the
No, I
with
mean, listen,
divestors watching right now,
I'm
that
sure
hit him a little bit, hit him in the ribs.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that think like that, and Haran would know more than I. But I think that there's many people that are aware that are aware all these things happen, but are going to look at it on an individual basis. I mean, that's why I say I don't think everybody who dates out of their race is doing it for.
Okay, Saint, you feel better? Here you go, baby. Here you go. We good? All right.
Because that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother night.
Hey, here you go.
Because I already told you, in my field, I was like, "Ooh, I'm scared to show up on camera with my black man and trying to put and move up in the industry." Because I look around at all the other LGBTQ, LMNOP, QRXWZ people, and they all interracially woven, and I'm like, "Oh, let me just hold my."
I mean, Haran DeMarco says most men with jobs or options aren't going to fat women. The end. There's a study. Most unemployed men or dealing with depression deal with ugly, fat women. We're going to tell the whole truth on the block and shame the devil. Y'all going to get your feelings hurt. Like I said, you're going to like the block, but you're not going to like it sometimes. Going back to what you said, No Saint, in the Latin community and in the Black community, it is still very, very prevalent. Adelantar la raza.
Yeah.
There is still the brown paper bag test. So dating white, mating white is still very much a status symbol. I made a joke about it today on Facebook. Shout out to all the people who wanted a mixed baby and just ended up with a goofy looking kid with curly hair.
That was good. I was laughing about like a good hour on that one because that is so true.
You know what I mean? There's a video of a woman that went viral a couple years back, gave birth to a baby literally. You guys can look this up.
I remember that.
She has the newborn baby in the hospital, fresh out her womb, and was upset that the baby did not have green eyes or blue eyes. It was either green or blue. Literally, baby out the womb. She's holding him in the hospital. And was like disappointed that baby didn't have green or blue eyes. That's how sick in the head people are with, everything white is right. So yeah, there's a racial component to this as well as there is with everything.
Yeah,
but
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that it's not necessarily like the only reason people are outside the race, which I know. But no, what he was bringing to the table was that. That everybody's thinking about when they're dating somebody, or maybe that, these people enslaved us, but I'm going to go marry just to move up. I don't think everybody thinks exactly like that. I mean, we all know the history in this country. I know you're saying some, not all. I got it.
He didn't say all. We're all educated enough to know we don't mean everybody. That's why I said earlier, we can find 2 or 3 men that'll look at a Catherine Zeta-Jones, a Salma, or Iman, Naomi Campbell, and be like, that's not my fucking type. Halle Berry a little too bow-legged for me. Have you seen her walking? You know what I mean? It's like there are guys that be like, that ain't me. That ain't, you know what I mean? That ain't me. I'm sure there are crazy women out there that look at Jason Momoa and say, that ain't me. They got to be crazy. But I'm sure we can find them.
And to what Lily said, and the reason I was shaking my head about the fetish thing is I worked with a guy when I was in, early 20s, and that was what he was into, man. He was showing me all these pictures of these women, and he was into a certain type. It's like on the top they weren't really that big, but on the bottom they got really fat. It's a certain, I'm sure there's some kind of disease or something that makes it like that, But I was like, and he's showing, I'm like, hey man, well, that's not for me, but
it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Both fat girl and trans girl fetishes. Both of those are really, really, really big. And that's why I try to educate trans girls on those fetishes. I'm like, I mean, if you're okay with being someone's fetish, cool. But if you're looking for love or looking for a real relationship, you have to know the signs, the difference between someone who really genuinely likes you or just looking at you as a fetish. Because if they're looking at you as a fetish, they really don't look at you as a human being.
I don't mind that. Good, fetishize me. Yo hablo español. Let me not start that again.
Okay, because all the
No, Saint
fetishizing.
was ready. He was like, encore, encore, bitches. Let's get a fucking hour. Let's get an hour of that on a loop. Let's loop that bitch. Let's loop it, Jen. I'm gonna loop it and start selling it. Whatchamacallit? So I wanted to go back to a second article really quickly. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's long, but I'll read a little bit. It said, just like adults, newborn babies prefer to look in an attractive face, according to new research carried out at the University of Exeter. The study reveals that infants are born with inbuilt preferences, which help them to make sense of their new environment. Placed before photos of a fashion model and a plain-looking woman, a newborn will be drawn to the prettier face. The finding undermines the theory that people develop an idea of attractiveness from the experience of mixing with different individuals. Instead, it appears that everyone is born with a pre-programmed understanding of what makes a person attractive. Newborns were shown two images side by side, one showing an attractive face and the other a less attractive one. The researchers say that infants spend more time looking at the attractive face than the less attractive one. Attractiveness is not simply in the eye of the beholder. You can show them pair after pair of faces that are matched for everything other than attractiveness. This leads to the conclusion that babies are born with a very detailed representation of the human face. It helps them to recognize familiar faces, particularly that of the mother, and it helps them in learning about the social world. Newborns manage to do this despite their comparatively blurred vision. The mother's face at first seems blurred to the newborn, but it can discriminate the mother's face from that of female strangers as little as 15 hours from birth, Dr. Slater explained. On average, the baby spent 80% of the time looking at the attractive face in the pair of pictures. Newborns used in the study averaged about 2 days old, but some were just a few hours old. Attractiveness is not simply, again, in the eye of the beholder. It is in the brain of the newborn infant right from the moment of birth and possibly prior to birth. The University of Exeter researchers said in later life, people still recognize conventionally attractive faces, even though they might choose a plain partner, goes back to what you said, Lily, with whom they feel more comfortable and suited. And I do notice that, I'm gonna cut you real quick, gentlemen. I do notice that a lot of men that marry the plain Jane lust over the hottie, but they will marry that plain Jane. Maybe they feel it's safe, it's less work. A lot of men won't be looking at her. I spoke before, whereas guys are like, they like the theory of dating me, and I give them a little whiff, and very quickly, and I mean very quickly, they say, why'd you have to wear that? Why'd you have to say that to that guy? Why are these guys talking to you? And I'm like, motherfucker, you was on that other side. Now you're here. I'm giving you a little whiff, a little taste. Here's a little taste. And they start that right away, right? So men are usually more comfortable, like the study says, with the plain Jane. They feel they're better suited, right? But they're, they're looking at that attractive woman. This is why I salute men who choose the attractive woman from jump, because you got to live with this woman. You got to look at her. No saying, your chick is attractive. You put a ring on something attractive, something that you could look at and be like, you know what I mean? If I got to be stuck here with the ball and chain, ball and chain might as well be hot.
Right.
Which to me gives you a better chance of longevity, right? So you're not constantly lusting over everything that's hot, because that's what men do. They pick the plain Jane, they pick the safe, and then they're in my DMs all the time, right? So, the babies called it. So therefore, we cannot give people the pass. No, it's environment. It's because they've been putting these women on the cover or putting these men in movies. That's why you think those people are attractive. No, starts in infancy if you believe in science and experiments. Now, if you guys want to debate and say no, or you disagree, feel free to disagree. Please feel free to disagree. If you have another theory, please feel free to disagree and we could discuss that. If you think these doctors are full of shit, say it.
Yeah. I don't think they are. I don't. I think that's a real thing. Yeah. Babies like attractive things. They like pretty things. They like shiny things, you know? Um, I definitely agree with the doctors on this one.
No, Saint, what say you?
I was reading your comment. I was just trying to see what they were saying.
Are you agreeing with the doctors on this evening?
Yeah, I am. I agree with it. I agree that I just think it all goes back to biology, and and so we are hardwired in certain areas. I mean, we don't. Again, we can go back to we can think we're making certain choices in life, but in reality, it's all based on hard. We do have certain choices, but in reality, our instincts play a big part as well. We like attractiveness, and I will agree also what you said. There's some guys, and you're like, why is that, or girls for that matter, but mostly in this case would be guys. Why is he with her? It's like you're like, why is he with her? And I'm sure girls do the same thing, but and I think some guys, and in particular, when you see a decent looking guy and he's with a real big girl, and you're like, what the hell? That is just, it doesn't match up. It could be like you said, it's easier. You can treat them a certain way, and they're not gonna break up with you. Some of that goes on too. Maybe a power dynamic. You have the upper hand. So
absolutely.
yeah.
And it's low incident. It's low incident. It's the same thing when we talk about the trash port bros, right? They want the most with the least amount of effort. You get with an attractive person, that person is going to be a thing everywhere you go. And people want the least amount of trouble for the most benefit. So they're going to marry that plain Jane and lust, for the pretty girls in the DMs. Another point I wanted to make during this experiment that I found very interesting, it says that the baby's preferences even crossed over to music. Yes, it says the researchers found that newborns seem to have certain musical preferences built in from birth. They displayed a red stripe on a board in front of the newborn. When the newborns looked at the stripe, the researchers played a piece of music. When the newborns looked away, the music was stopped. It says their preferences, again measured by the attention they paid to the stimulus, were recorded by observers. If you play Vivaldi's Four Seasons forward, then they like it. But if you play Vivaldi's backwards, they don't like it so much and began to cry. So listen, innately, babies, music, visuals, babies aren't as dumb as we thought they were.
Right. Oh no, you see them. You see some of these babies when that music come on, they have their picks. They already have their picks. Some babies like the little ratchet music. Some might want a little bit of Mozart.
Little twerking babies.
Little twerk baby. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might want a little Mozart. Because they got their pinky in the air when they drinking their bottle. But babies, they got their music picks. We've seen it. Like they'll just start doing that little bounce. They're the cutest though when they start doing that bounce. I'd be like, "Oh, you into it? You feeling it? Party over here."
I love you see those videos sometimes on YouTube where the babies they play music and they just start doing what, like you said, dancing or shaking their head or
Yeah. Tova says wealthy white men. This is Saint. Our wealthy firemen. Our wealthy firemen. Hey, you went to Disney World and Disneyland. Okay. Wealthy white men will marry beautiful women so they can breed beautiful kids. Eugenics, bitch.
Yeah.
I notice in the wealthy upper class community, they have beautiful kids.
For the most part, they do the best they can to get there. Let's just say that. That is a very real thing. They definitely, because we discussed here that even wealthy Black people have gone so far to, do that. And okay,
We
This
just
is
saw
what,
that recently with the Brat, the rapper, and her wife. They did that
yes,
recently, just recently.
yes, just recently. And then remember, I will tell you, I have some friends that are like, they come from black nobility and down south and stuff like that, and they're different type of black. Okay, and so like I said, they're a different type of black. So they damn near do arranged marriages still today.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Um, you're not going to bring down the family value by marrying, and I'm not mad at them,
I have
especially
nothing. I have nothing against that. You had a better shot than that love shit. Sorry,
exactly.
you got
I'm
a
not
better
mad at them
shot.
at all. I'm like, damn, because and my friend was like telling me like the first thing, like they're just unapologetically bougie. Okay,
Hmm.
so you bring someone home, they're grilling you, the whole family's grilling you. They want to know what school you went, and the first want to know what family you're from, and
Hmm.
what school you went to, and all of
Hmm.
that stuff,
Hmm.
right? And so this goes back to Ebony's comment. I don't see nothing wrong with it because look where we're at
Yeah. I mean,
without the
already at the
standards.
bottom. There's only up from there. Cedric Kelly says, "I really think you can be conditioned to find people attractive." Do you think? Well, Cedric, the photos I put up of that woman in particular, do you think there will be a time where men will be conditioned to find her attractive? Like, if you're gonna say it, if you're gonna say it now, say it with your chest. Do you think there's ever a time that society will be conditioned to find this woman attractive? If you say yay, it's yay. You can say nay and nay. But do you think that because this woman is the new standard of beauty and people are being shamed for not liking this? They're being shamed. So do you think that eventually people will be conditioned to shut their mouth? Because, there's FOMO. People like going along to get along, right? They just go along with whatever. Say, oh yeah, she beautiful, she this. If you scroll this woman's comments in particular, because she's an influencer on Instagram, okay? If you scroll her comments, you see online that she's very, very popular. Very, very
Hmm.
popular. And lots of people in her comments are like, hey girl, go girl. So do you think the more that happens, she will most likely be mainstream and people will be conditioned to like this, including men? No,
Mm.
Saint, you
And
think there's ever going to be a day?
I don't either.
No,
I don't
Saint,
either.
you're not
Mm-mm.
budging. No, Saint,
No, no,
you're not gonna lift up the fupa
no,
and kiss it.
no, no.
It's a
I
no
don't
for
think
you.
it is. I
Okay,
don't think
just
it's a.
ask. I gotta ask.
But
No.
but I will say where all of this is coming from as far as the comment section and the popularity is because most of America is fat. I mean, let's face it. Let's be real. I mean,
Okay.
let's be extra real. Let's be extra freaking real. I was talking to somebody this morning. I think I was talking to Haran about this morning. The kids, you all. I mean, look at the kids. When I'm walking around, I'm just like, I don't remember this many fat kids when I was growing up. We had the fat kid,
That's
maybe
true.
another one.
We did. No, that's very true. We had that one fat kid in class.
Yeah,
We had the
That
one
one.
on the block. We had the one
Yeah.
on the block.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
had
called
the
him.
fat
His
kid.
name was Hank, and his name was Hank the Tank. And he
Hank
would,
the Tank.
I know. And when I think back, I'm like, God, that kid was only like probably 10 or 11. We're calling him Hank the Tank, and he used to be like the other kids. He would take us and he would swing us in circles. He was like the neighborhood ride.
Oh my God, no, Saint. That's going in
You're
your heaven file.
awful,
That's
But good
going in your
right?
heaven
news.
file.
Good news. He lost all the weight.
Oh, yay. Go ahead.
But those scars are still there, no saint.
Oh, I know. I know. I know.
Abby says, like the dogs that howl at the radio, right? A dog will let you know too. I don't like that. I don't like that. Jay says, babies like Beethoven. Um, Yo, Sarah said, the brat learned the phrase mejorar la raza. Going back to the brat and her wife, she recanted and apologized, but she did say when they had that episode and they were getting sperm, right? They picked the white guy, and she said that the white guy, I didn't even know you could look at pictures at sperm banks. I thought it was like really
I
like
didn't either.
anonymous. But apparently you could look at the picture, and she saw the white guy and said that white man would look great with her wife's eggs. And then she said about the black man, he looks like Jiminy Cricket. They didn't want him because he looked like Jiminy Cricket. So obviously she thought the white guy was going to have the better sperm and create the more attractive baby, despite her wife already having 3 black children. I guess she got tired of having black children. Said, let's throw some mix up in there.
I know I want to say they do something where like you can pick like people with high IQ sperm too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But we're coming to a point where that's not even going to matter because we have this. I told you about the editing where they can edit the DNA now. So where you're going to have designer, especially if you have money, I'm sure you can pretty much pick everything your kid's going to look like. So
yeah, they're already starting to do that though.
Yeah.
But,
right.
So I had lunch with somebody last week, and they're actually the people who hooked the Brett and Judy up with these people, like with the people who they got the not the donor, but the bank or whatever. There was a process, right? And so she was saying to me, and this person actually does activism in this particular arena. So she was kind of educating me, and she said in their defense, she says black men, period. Let's just before we get to any criteria, right?
Okay.
Make up a very, 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 very small percentage of sperm donors. Even in Atlanta, that is Wakanda, okay? And the reason being is, she says, she says, most black men, and we're about to hit the race bell on this one. This is her words, not mine, and this is an activist saying this. This is why, she said, most black men aren't able to get past the first 4 questions. And she said, there's a long list of questions, right? Oh God,
Hold on. James Oko, I don't know why you can't super chat, darling. The $sign is there. Haran super chatted, unless you're somewhere where you can't super chat, but the super chat should be working.
Sometimes it'll do that though. It'll do that.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Because I've tried to super chat people and it'll hate.
Okay. I know Haran was super chatting earlier. So I don't know. You could do Cash App, same thing on the block with Jen, or I don't know what's going on with it. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Lily.
So I'm trying to remember exactly what those questions were, but she said one of them.
Also, hold on, Lily. Also, James, if you want to come up last minute before we close, you always have good opinions on colorful opinions on these subjects. If you want to come up right quick, I just dropped the link. Feel free to come up. James Oko. Go ahead, Lily. I'm sorry.
Always welcome. No problem. So she was saying the one question is prison. Have you been to prison? The other one, college educated. The other one, HIV and AIDS.
Interesting.
And there was another one. Did I? Okay, hold on. I'm missing one because I said college, right? College, prison. It was something else. I can't remember. But it's 4 questions that they can't even get past to even get, because a lot of men can't pass those 4. Black men aren't able to pass those 4.
Holy fuck.
Either one or all 4. And that's before you get to the other. She says it's a long list, but those are just the first 4. Yeah.
And so also, black men aren't big sperm donors either.
She said, yeah, that too. But then she said, even if they wanted to, they can't pass those first 4 questions. That's
well, they're not big sperm donors clinically.
Right.
Because I remember James let us know that only a certain percentage of the men were making all these baby mamas. So
right.
They don't have a problem donating sperm in hoods, but apparently in the clinic, it's a no-go. Haran Marco says, I believe blacks and browns should be intent on mating with attractive people. Being unattractive and black and brown is just giving your kid more strikes. That's a very controversial statement, Haran. Sound like eugenics to me. Sounds like a very, very controversial.
So you want to go the Jackson's way?
James Ogle says shade.
Because, the Jacksons got later over a decade. Now they white. Literally.
Jay Cavassier says there should be a stringent filtering out process. You are paying all that money, more bang for your buck. Sarah agrees. Damn, these questions disqualified most American black men. Haran says, I'm not shocked. Brothers ain't getting past those questions. Laughing my ass off. Damn, we
I'm trying
got
to
to
think
do
what
better.
got to do better. I'm trying to think what that other question is. It's bothering me. It wasn't even the income. It wasn't even that. It
But
wasn't.
then how many, you know what I mean? Is it just a cultural thing? How many women, white or black, are going to the sperm bank looking for black sperm?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Like you got your pick of the litter.
That hurt. That you paying all this money.
Right. You
You
got your
going back
pick
to
of the
Haran's
litter.
comment. You going back to he might be on to
Right.
something.
No Saint. Oh, No Saint got a little dimple. Go donate some sperm, No Saint. Give somebody that dimple. Get in there. Yeah, so Hmm.
Ooh,
Is
this is
there
heavy.
right? Is there a point to adelantar la raza? Is it a survival thing, or should we keep it black love, brown love all the way? Let's keep the bloodline intact.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, No Say, you got something. I know you
No,
got
no,
something to
it's just
say.
it is. Listen, we live in a world that was cut up into these things that really don't matter, but it's the white people did it, so I got to live with it. But the whole bloodline. I mean, it's the same thing that the KKK used to say too, like, don't marry, blah blah blah. We got to keep this pure race. And although Jen doesn't 100% agree with me, there is no real thing. That race is just made up. No, there's differences in people, and
There's definitely differences.
I get that there are cultural differences and things like that, but I don't know. It's
I
doesn't
know
matter.
I know that we're all human.
Except there's one
I
tribe that
think
they
that
discovered that has
I
an
think there's
extra
some are
DNA strand.
I think some are subhuman. I think we're all some variation of human. No say? Would you say,
Yeah,
Lily?
we're Homo sapien sapien. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Right? We're all the same on the inside. We're all gonna bleed red or blue, depending on who you ask.
We can all can have fertile children.
Well,
Yeah,
no, not the what is
absolutely.
it the RH what is it the RH negative? I think they still bleed blue if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
There's something, yeah, RH negative people. They're very
Oh.
interesting. There's some interesting stuff out here when you start studying this stuff. Like, so yes, we are all Homo sapien sapien, but we are definitely different when it comes to DNA. Like I said, they discovered the tribes. I forgot where they discovered them at, but they have a whole, like, not a whole different DNA, whatever, but there's like a whole different strand in their DNA that doesn't exist in anyone else that they've discovered on
I'd have to
Interesting.
look up on that, but
Right, that's interesting.
I mean, we're 98% same DNA as with a chimpanzee, so I don't think our DNA is different. I think we have variations. We have small variations that make us look different for the different environments that we were in at one time. But that's what I'm saying, though. It's so superficial. But I get it because we live in this world where race is something. We made it up, so it's there. I'm not denying, but and so I don't know. It's just when I hear like keep the race pure and stuff, it's just very, very.
it's very if you're pure races anymore anyway, unless you are tucked in the middle of somebody's rainforest or something like
Yeah,
that,
in the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
right.
Nowhere. Yeah.
But when people say keep the race pure, it's beyond what you think. No saying. It comes from a place where it's like let's this tribe stick together over here and not blend with that tribe. But we've seen that. We still see that today. There are tribes everywhere that didn't mingle.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, y'all stay over there, you stay over there, but I'll come and trade this salt.
Yeah, no,
Look at
yeah,
Look at Ethiopians. They stick with each other no matter where they're
yeah,
living at. Like
I
it's
agree.
very few Ethiopians that marry out, and even Asians and things like that. Which she also told me, because I was like, well, what about like other? Did they have any other options like with people of color or something? I said, what? I mean, like Indian. She said, do you see? She says Indian people don't donate no sperm. They don't even adopt. She says they just. She was like, they do not adopt. And she says, and if they by chance do, she says, if by chance they do, she says they are shameless about treating that adopted child like an adopted child. Like the other family members are not going to acknowledge the child. They're going to show up at some Christmas, whatever they celebrate, with toys and gifts for every child, but that adopted child that we are not having anything to do with and not claiming. So they take
Right.
their pure race stuff and DNA and bloodline stuff seriously too. So it's
I mean,
interesting with us humans.
even before America and slavery, it was like you're white, you're black, before that even happened. Again, at the basic level of let's make fire with this tool, tribes were like, we ain't fucking with y'all, and you ain't fucking with us.
Yeah,
Right.
And let's do
tribalism
that.
is real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Very
mean,
so
real.
it's
I'm
gonna be
looking at
like that.
Haran's comment right there. I mean, I understand what he's saying there too. Some people also listen.
Let's
There,
read it in case blind
okay.
people are watching
He
us.
says, "I'm sure race is a construct until it's time to date, seek resources, and look for sperm. Laugh out loud. It's funny how race suddenly matters then." And what I'll say to that is that I grew up here where I like I think Lily mentioned, like, you know, people, oh, I want to marry, or I want to get with this person, I want to have beautiful babies, right? I think and it's usually like maybe date someone lighter, or you know, maybe interracial. Oh, they make pretty kids, you know. I think that, at least for me, it's not for everybody. I kind of like differences. I don't like, so for me, people of other ethnicities are very beautiful. You know, it's not fetishizing or anything. I just that's kind of the way, you know. So I think people are like that. Like, I want my baby to, you know, oh, it'd be cool. Like for black people, maybe they think, oh, it'd be cool to have a light-eyed kid or something like that. You know what I mean? Where I would say, well, it'd be cool if my kid didn't have to put sunscreen on. You know what I mean? Have a little bit darker skin. I think there's some of that goes on. Like, we want something that we don't have.
That's true. I get that, because do you ever notice people with the hair texture? No one likes their hair texture. Everyone wants an opposite hair texture. Something I noticed as a
I mean,
kid.
it's going to sound funny, but when I was in high school, I thought black people were so lucky because I struggled to get my hair to do a flat top. You know what I mean? Flat tops were in. And it took me, I'll show you my senior picture. I had a pretty good flat top. But they were in. And I was like, God dang, man. I had to sit there and gel it, you know, and try to get it all
I think
perfect.
I think we are all naturally curious creatures, and we all want what the other person has, right? Because we see it. But you know, there is our experience on this planet. Like I say, it's quite unique. And a lot of people who are melanated, a lot of people that are melanated do want to be adjacent to whiteness. That's in India, in America, Latin America, everywhere there is a tanned person, a melanated person, a person whose hair doesn't lay straight, is always trying to look for that adjacent. I think that's more prevalent than, oh, I just want what I don't have. I just want what's different, because it is a disease that has affected so many different countries. And it's, in my opinion, it's way more prevalent than just, oh, my hair is straight, I want it curly. Like, people are bleaching their skin. People are going out of the country to get that thing inserted, like T.I.'s wife did, Tiny. Get
And
the
daughter.
color, the daughter did it too.
But she had to
They
take it
make
out
their
because she was going blind.
eyes light blue or light green. So it's deep. It's more than, oh, I just want what I don't have. Like, people are really damn near killing themselves to be adjacent to whiteness. I don't know why. Pero
Yeah. Yeah. That's all around the world, like you said, Jen. The one thing that I noticed when that guy does that YouTube show, going to different countries and showing what it's like to be black in different countries and stuff. Yeah, you're gonna see that's gonna be a underlying, constant, consistent thing.
Absolutely. All right, camp. So we are ready to close tonight. This was an amazing conversation, throwing some science, throwing some bullshit, and throwing some jokes. That's a good conversation to me. Do you guys have any parting words to leave the people about babies say you ugly, you ugly?
I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping somebody came up here and boxed us, like
I
in
know.
some
I
of our
know.
views.
Yeah, the chat was laying loaded. I thought somebody was coming up. I thought James was gonna come up for sure. James be coming.
He,
He got the smoke.
well, the people say his suit is in a dry cleaner, so he couldn't make it tonight, but he'll be there another night.
Lord Almighty.
We love James on
I
the
was
block.
thinking when Jim said come up, he had to go run and get his tie out, get that
I
window.
think James be calling from work. Quite honestly, James be
Right.
looking like he calling from work.
Mm-hmm.
So I ain't mad at that. Taking breaks from work to call in. Maybe he'll come up next time. Yeah. I wanted to have a little scientific discussion today, and maybe to Tuesday tomorrow we're gonna jump into the bullshit, to the fuckery.
All right.
You know what the blog does. No Saint, would you like to share with the class since you're the white guy? Since people want to be adjacent to you? No pressure. No pressure.
Well, what can I say? I'm trying to think of something relevant to say to the subject. I really can't, as far as babies liking pretty people. But it is what it is, right? You're born with what you got. If you're overweight and you're looking like the lady in the thing, and, you know, if you don't want to be that way, work out a little bit, eat a little bit less if you don't have a medical problem. Like Tehran always says, get in the gym because it will catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But no, great show. What are we doing? I'm sure you don't have a subject for tomorrow yet, but
We do. It was when Lily wanted to do it tonight. Lily, you want to tell them what it is, or you
okay.
just want to pop up tomorrow?
Oh, let's see. I gotta remember how to word it. Yes. Do men reward other men for bashing black women specifically?
We're gonna have to start the race bell tomorrow. We're gonna have to start with the race bell tomorrow.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, come back for that tomorrow. Oof.
Actually, I called Amazon and I ordered the Liberty Bell for tomorrow. So
All right.
Yeah. As a matter of
Prime.
fact, and I'm gonna order when I come back. I'm gonna have what Jen send me on Amazon that I need from you, something like that. You know, I guess.
Yeah, see how much better that looked
Right,
just now. That little bit you just did, no
Yes,
Saint,
that
looked
looked
way
good.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That angle right there.
Again, I'm leaving. I'll have a few more shows before I go. I'll try it. Like Saturday, I'm taking off, so I will definitely. I don't know what the time difference is going to be like, if I'm going to be awake, but I'll try to check in. I'll at least send pictures, let you know what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. You're not gonna get beat up by the wife, right? Like, we didn't travel so you could be on a fucking block with Jen. All right?
No, she's
okay.
not going.
Oh, okay. So we good. All right.
Yeah, come on through.
Me and my middle son. So.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That is lovely. Travel with the babies.
Yes.
My little parting words is just make sure, no matter what it is you're into, try your best not to be cattle and be influenced by the masses. If you don't like a thing, you don't like a thing. You don't have to accept it or be afraid to. I'm not going to say anything. Say it with your chest. We're hoping that's the message that we give on the block. Life is short, and you should be able to say and feel and like what you specifically like. If you do like something, ask yourself, do I like this shit? Or are they telling me fat, tall, skinny, black, brown, yellow? Are they telling me to like this shit? You have to ask yourself. You have to dig deep. So that's all I have to say on that subject, because if you are a leaf blowing in the wind, people will capitalize off of your, okay, whatever you say. Before you know it, you're a hamster on the wheel. Yeah, I like obese women. What's wrong with that? Okay?
Sounds
Lily,
great.
anything?
No, that's a really good one. I love that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get out of here. Good night. Love you all, like Tristan would say. Don't forget Block Talent Battle every single Saturday. Please check out our last Block Talent Battle. Check out the competition. Vote for them. Okay, put their name in the comment section. Check out our last Block Talent Battle. And don't forget, you can come if you are a talent or know someone who's talented every single Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come and compete for $100. It's an easy $100. Give us your talent for 2 minutes, no matter what you do. Sing, act, rap, dance. I'd love to see where are my actors? Where are my actors in your monologues? Like to see more actors up here. $100 cash to your Cash App. No strings attached. Every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Block with Jen. On the Block with Jen at Gmail if you want to contact me about business or the Block Talent Battle. All right, guys. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for holding me down in the chat. We will see you mañana. Mwah. Good night. Hit that like and subscribe for me on the way out the door, mi gente. Thank you. You know, that's also currency on the block. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're catching the replay and want to support mama behind the scenes, buy me a smoothie. Cash App on the Block with Jen. It is scrolling on the bottom there. Okay? On the Block with Jen. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a doozy. Okay? Bring your vest tomorrow. Good night, guys.